This is something that really held me actually at the multiple six-figure per mark for multiple years, 2 years specifically, where I couldn't quite break $300,000. There's a quote by Alex Hermosa that goes, "You're not making as much money as you think you should because you're not as good as you think that you are." And what this boils down to for me is that your income is a direct reflection of the person that you've become. And what I'm going to explain in this video is an exact example using my own trajectory to build a multiple seven-figure per year business, starting from zero, and explaining the different phases that I had to go through and who I had to become and the things that were lacking along the way, so that you can relate this to your journey. And it's going to make a life-changing impact on your own business, because you're going to be able to find the holes in your bucket and where you need to improve so that you can get to that next phase. Maybe it's your first six figures, maybe it's going from 6 to 7 or 7 to multiple 7, and I will explain where my limitations are currently at this point in time that I'm working on in order to get to the next level, so that you can see what you're going to face as you start to grow before you get there. Okay, so first let's break down going from $0 to $100,000 a year, or making your first six figures in business. Now, genuinely, when you break it down, it's actually very easy, but a lot of people overcomplicate it because it stems from two specific things, which is work ethic and discipline. Now, those can start to relate to a multitude of other things, which is going to be time management, fulfilling your promises, grit, mental fortitude, and being consistent. But essentially, you can bulldoze your way to making six figures. And it genuinely just comes down to that work ethic, that consistency, and staying disciplined. Because at the end of the day, every entrepreneur, every realtor, every person in business knows what they need to do to get to six figures. It's all about getting clients, serving clients, and nurturing clients. Those are the only three things that you need to worry about. Now, when it comes to getting clients, it comes down to things like lead generation, prospecting. Well, why do most fail with getting clients? Because they don't want to cold call, they don't want to door knock, they don't want to put out videos, they don't want to learn how to run ads, so they're not being disciplined with the things that they know they need to do to get clients. Well, when they service clients, there's a lot of things that go wrong as well. Oftentimes people are putting commission checks or income before the best interests of clients. So what's happening is you're looking at the short-term instant gratification of how quickly can you get paid, how quickly can you serve this client to get a closed deal or get a sale so that you can get paid, because you're desperate to make money. Well, oftentimes that short-term instant gratification leads to long-term sacrifice of not getting repeat and referral clients because you didn't do what's in the client's best interest, or you didn't create an unforgettable journey for your clients because you wanted to be stingy. You didn't want to invest money into your business because you're afraid of not getting paid. You don't want to do things that are going to be memorable for your client, which leads to the third aspect of it, which is nurturing your clients. The majority of entrepreneurs, realtors that I know don't properly learn how to leverage their database. They don't properly learn how to get repeat and referral clients from properly nurturing, or create this experience that goes to the customer journey of after they work with you. Because a lot of times you get the client, you service the client, and then they just you stop keeping in touch with the client. And then if you look at the average stats, every client that's properly serviced and nurtured should lead to 7 more clients over the lifespan of your career. But most agents are constantly focusing, or entrepreneurs are focusing on the next deal, the next lead, the next, always new, not servicing what they already have. And by focusing on the new, you're doing one by one instead of 7 by 7 by 7, and it makes it very difficult to scale your business. So a lot of times to get to that first six figures, it comes down to not fulfilling your promises. You say you're going to record videos this week, you don't record, you push it off to next week. You say you're going to prospect today, you don't do it, you use it as an excuse. If you don't like doing it, you don't know what to do. Every entrepreneur knows what they need to do to get to six figures. It just comes down to discipline. Now I want to talk about my journey from going to $100,000 to $300,000. And this was a new experience for me because, again, it's very easy to bulldoze your way just through grit and hardcore work ethic to get to $100,000. But to start breaking multiple six figures, you start to need to amplify your reach. And for me, this came from marketing and then bolting on the repeat and referral clients, because as I started to go through my first year, I broke six figures just through hard work ethic. Well, going through my second year, I tripled my production and went from $100,000 to almost $300,000. And what this stemmed down to is building more reach in terms of leveraging more marketing, putting in more video content, leveraging paid advertising, running more ads, and being able to not just become top of mind, but remain top of mind. And that started to create a bit of leverage in my business while simultaneously nurturing the clients that I already had and that I did an incredible experience for, which allowed me to start to get referrals in my second year. Not really repeat clients except for the investors that I was working with, but a lot of referral clients because I did such a stellar job for my clients in that first year and over-delivered on value. I was not so concerned about how can I make the biggest profit margin on this commission. I over-delivered on the experience. I used to have, full catered sommelier wine and charcuterie nights for every single client and 12 to 14 of their friends every closing day or possession day of their property whenever they bought a house or sold a house. I used to spend a ridiculous amount of money on paid advertising, and this ridiculous amount of money is relative because I didn't have much money, but relative to my income, I was spending the majority of what I had on listing videos, on proper advertising, on making sure the brochures and everything was a cut above the rest, which started to create that unforgettable experience. But going to multiple six figures really boiled down to getting those referral clients, properly servicing the referrals to get more, but then amplifying it with marketing and advertising. And a lot of agents get stuck at that six-figure level because they're not willing to learn new skills. A lot of entrepreneurs stop learning new things whenever the repercussions are immediate. And what I mean by that is that in high school or university or college, if you don't do what you need to do, if you don't learn new things like algebra or whatever it is, you get a big fat F and then you fail and you have to go do it until you pass. You have to learn new skills because the repercussions are immediate. In entrepreneurship, if you don't do what you know you need to do, the repercussions are delayed because if you don't prospect today, nothing happens. If you don't record videos today, nothing happens. But 6, 8, 12, 16 months down the road, you're broke, you have no clients, your pipeline's empty, and you fail out of the business. But you can't see that today. So what you need to start doing is looking at creating leverage of your business and being able to amplify it through marketing and learning new skills like leveraging video. And if you want to know how to leverage every social media platform in terms of video and TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, in order to attract clients at scale and close deals every single month, drop a comment below and I'll give you my free training that gives you the exact blueprint of how agents are doing $1 million GCI in the first year. But the second phase of my business really came down to how can I amplify the results of what I'm doing and create leverage from the experience I had with past clients and getting more people to find out what I was doing above and beyond other agents in my market center. Now, the third phase went from $300,000 to $3 million in 1 year. And that came down to creating leverage and honestly, for me, not being geographically restricted. I was previously at a traditional brick and mortar brokerage in real estate, and then I ended up going to a cloud-based brokerage, eXp Realty, which allowed me to build a global business and be able to get compensated more for doing the exact same thing I was already doing at my past brokerage. So as you start to put out great content, like in the second phase, you start to have not just a ton of clients that start to take notice of what you're doing and the success that you're having, but you have a lot of agents that also want to learn how to do what you're doing, how to create that content, how to advertise, how to service those clients, get luxury listings and the like. So now I had an opportunity to give all of my best strategies away for free to every single agent that wanted to partner with me, no matter where they were located, because of the ungeographically restricted nature of eXp being a global business. So that allowed me to create massive leverage and amplify even further what I was doing, but also it allowed me to add multiple income streams in different verticals of compensation by doing the exact same thing as I already was doing. So as you want to go to that 7-figure phase, it's about creating massive leverage, but simultaneously finding ways to create additional income without having to do more work. In the sense, if you've already got this certain skill set, how can you apply it in different ways that's going to allow you to start to make additional income by not having to change what you're exceptional at? A lot of people think that they go need to change the industry or change the product or change the service to go to that next level, but it's not. It's just going deeper with what you already have in your toolkit. So that was honestly the biggest life-changing opportunity that I had, and I've now helped multiple people make $1 million a year. And if you want to know how to partner with me and get all of my help directly for free, you can click the link in the description and book a one-on-one meeting with me, and we'll talk about that. But ultimately, that was the biggest difference that allowed me to break that multiple 6 figures per year mark and go straight to multiple 7 figures by really allowing myself to capitalize on opportunities that were coming my way without having to take more time. Because when you start looking at the trajectory of most businesses, you start having to invest more time. And there's three aspects of income that most people are not thinking about, which is there's money, there's time, and there's stress. And the ultimate goal is to increase income, decrease time, decrease stress. Well, when you look at the traditional models that are out there for business, a lot of time in order to increase your income, you have to increase time, which ultimately leads to increase in stress. But when I started looking at this avenue with eXp Realty, which completely changed not just my life, but a ton of my friends and my family, it allowed me to increase income, decrease time, decrease stress. And that massive leverage and that unrestricted opportunity really allowed me to catapult to that seven-figure level. Now, the one other thing I want to mention when it comes to going from 6 figures to 7 figures per year in terms of personality type, a lot of what this has to do is looking at opportunity. And this is something that really held me actually at the multiple 6-figure per mark for multiple years, 2 years specifically, where I couldn't quite break $300,000. And that's because my ego and emotion was transparently getting in the way. I wasn't looking at new opportunities that were proven, that were exponentially growing, that were in complete alignment with where I wanted to go in business and life in terms of creating wealth, creating time freedom. But I was saying, hey, if I'm already doing really well over here, if I'm already one of the top producers at my brokerage, and I'm already building a personal brand that's becoming recognized, I don't need to look at all these other new things. I just need to keep the head down, stay on the grind, and keep doing what I'm already doing. But that starts to get in your way, because what I found is that when I removed ego and emotion and started being able to make educated decisions, which only came by nature of educating myself, looking at new opportunities unbiasedly, that's something that I had to grow as an individual. I had to get outside of my own head to look at something, even though I had a bad taste in my mouth about how others had presented that opportunity. I had to learn as an entrepreneur. I had not yet become the person that was willing to receive information, understanding that not everybody explains it the same, understanding not everybody's doing it the same. And that was something I had to learn and grow as an entrepreneur. And once I was able to look unbiasedly at these opportunities and capitalize on them, that's what started allowing me to make these educated decisions. Whereas before I was making assumptive decisions on what I needed to do in order to get to that next level. But genuinely, once I started being able to break down those barriers, that's when my business 10x in 12 months. Now let's talk about the next phase, the final phase, which is where I'm at today. And I want to explain what I'm doing to get to the next phase, because I'm not there yet. Ultimately, because I'm not that person yet. So the next phase for me is going from about $3 million per year to $10 million per year. And my ultimate goal is to start consistently making 8 figures per year. And that is planned to happen within the next 12 or so months. But there's a couple limitations that have happened, that I've reached and realized that I'm not that person yet in order to receive that amount of business. So what did that look like for me? Number one, I needed to be coached. And now I'm being coached by somebody that has done exactly what I'm looking to do. They've broken that 8-figure per year mark. They've helped create $3 billion businesses, 8 businesses that collectively amount to multiple 9 figures every single year. So they're seeing things that I'm not. And what I've realized is that to get to that next level, I needed to not only understand how to create more leverage in terms of time in order to focus on my zone of genius, which comes down to hiring, being able to outsource, being able to delegate better, which I didn't do. As a perfectionist, as somebody that wants to do things at the highest level, and your business is your baby, it's really difficult to give up control of certain things. But you have to be able to give up control in some capacity to get to that next level. Otherwise, you're going to be sucked into the weeds of always having to do everything, which is going to be a limitation of scale. Now, the second aspect of that is systems. I really didn't have much systems to get to the multiple 7-figure per year mark. I was really running my business off Google Drive and Google Docs and just G Suite in general, and really just pushing through with the leverage that I had and the brand that I was building, doing the things that I know I needed to do consistently by being disciplined and being able to manage my time properly and focus on the right things that I know I needed to do. But now I need systems. Now I need to create leverage in my time by having streamlined systems and processes in place, which are now thankfully being built out, and many already have been. Finally, our offers. What are the offers that you have, and are they scalable? This goes back to, again, what we talked about in the beginning with Alex Hormozi, his book about $100 million offers of creating the perfect irresistible offer. I have multiple offers, but there's a couple things that I'm working on that I know fill massive voids in the offers that I currently have that are going to be able to bridge those gaps, be more scalable, and with the right team in place and the right systems and processes in place, inevitably lead to that 8-figure per year mark. But I had to learn that. I had to grow. I had to mature as a person and I had to start being receptive to people being able to point out all these weaknesses that I had so I can work on them and start to do things differently. Even though it's massively uncomfortable, it's what needs to be done in order to get to that next level. So the moral of the story is, look at where you're at today and look at if you're struggling to break six figures. A lot of times it comes to work ethic and discipline. If you're looking to go from six to multiple six figures, you really need to focus on amplifying and creating leverage of the past experience you have, getting repeat clients, and being able to amplify through marketing and advertising, which oftentimes requires learning new skills. When you go from multiple six to seven figures per year, it comes from leverage, and how much leverage are you able to create so that you can build this scalable, duplicatable business. And then the final phase where I'm currently at, which I'm going to continue to share my journey with you, is building up proper teams, having systems and processes, and dialing in offers that are scalable and allow you to, again, increase income, decrease time, decrease stress. I'd love to know where you're at, and if you face any obstacles, drop a comment below because I'm more than happy to help, and I just want to see you win.